This is the Emazing Bike Artemis, and it's one of the lightest weight but still affordable, well-balanced electric bikes I've seen out there. These guys are based in the Bay Area, and as you can see, the battery's right there on the down tube. It's removable. It's not quite as integrated as like an Easy Motion or something, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all, and it's like 36 volt, 8.7 amp hours. It's a 350 watt geared motor in the rear, and it uses a 12 sensor pedelec. So inside that battery pack is actually Panasonic cells, and they're warranted for a year on the battery pack, 2 years on the motor, and 5 years on the frame. So they're using lithium manganese cobalt battery technology that's long lasting, lightweight, and even though this is not the most aesthetic solution, pretty high quality stuff. So there is the 12 sensor cadence sensor on the front cranks, and then there's the strain sensor. You can see the little wire running through in that metal plate, and that gives this a smoother start, and it's very responsive. And again, I only weigh 135 pounds, but this bike feels pretty zippy for having a 350 watt motor. You'll notice this one has fenders and a rack on it. It's just a demo. Those are not included, but they do work with it. You can see there's the threaded eyelets that they were able to add the rack right there. This is a disc brake setup. We've got 160 millimeter rotors in the front and rear, and then these nice mechanical Tektro brake levers. And I don't see a cutoff for the motor, so that's one of the kind of downsides. If you're pedaling and you're braking, you're kind of fighting the system. It's not quite as sophisticated as some where it's all integrated, at least this version that I'm testing out. As far as the specs on this, it's a 7-speed Revo shift from Shimano, grip shift in the front right here, twist, and then we've got this pretty basic Shimano Tourney TX cassette in the rear. And 7 speeds is, enough. It gets the job done, and those components aren't super top of the line, but that's part of what keeps it affordable. So again, being a 38-pound bike is that's the real focus for me, and something that's pretty responsive, gonna get decent distance. Yeah, it's not bad. And then the pedals here, they're a little bit more basic as well, but they're a little bit wider. They aren't quite as narrow. They're just plastic with a rubberized grip. We've got these Kenda tires, Kenda Quick Roller Holiday 700 by 35C. So they're, hybrids. They're going to coast fairly smoothly, but they do have a little bit of grip. They aren't quite as narrow as road bike tires, but they're going to ride a little bit more efficiently, which is nice. Got a quick release in the front. If you had to take the rear wheel off for service, it's going to take a little bit more work because there's the bolts right there, to maybe true the wheel or add a different tire if you've got a puncture, that kind of thing. And then we also have a quick release on the seat post right there, which is nice. I'm just going to raise this up for myself a little bit because I'm a little bit taller. One of the other neat things about this bike, and several of the bikes they come in multiple sizes. So this comes in small, medium, large, and extra large, and that's good. Get the right fit for yourself. So this is a little bit more of just a bicycle kind of a bike, and there's no adjustable stem here or anything, but a little bit swept back on the handlebars. I don't know, I want to say there's a little bit of a generic going on here, but the price is pretty good, and the systems on it do a decent job. So first you have to turn on the battery pack down here, and you press the mode button. We've got 5 levels of assistance that you can arrow up through, and you can see it's pretty easy to reach this button pad here. We've got the speed, a battery indicator, and an odometer. There are no lights built into this bike, but it's the kind of thing you could add on aftermarket if you wanted to, along with those fenders and racks. So I'm going to get on there and show you how responsive the motor is with. Really smooth and quiet. Again, 350 watts is kind of, it's maybe standard on electric bikes. Top speed 20 mile per hour on this. It's part of what keeps it so light. And this bike, aside from the battery, the rear part of it's fairly stealthy. The motor is just so small and lightweight down there. Being geared, there are some moving parts in it versus gearless, but it's just so much lighter, and it does have a free wheel. You can also see down there, there's sort of a torque sensor in conjunction to those 12 sensor pedelecs. So this is one of the smoother bikes that I've tested that is predominantly pedelec, and it's neat that they added that because a lot of pedelecs are just so basic. You can feel it being very smooth when you activate the system. and that was quite good. We just climbed this hill here in Las Vegas. It's like a parking ramp. Again, 350 watts was pretty effective for that. For a bike that's only a couple grand, it's not bad. You know, we just climbed this ramp over here. I didn't really feel like I had to overexert myself, and we've been going across the gravel and the grass with this thing, and it's not a mountain bike. You know, again, this is sort of around town, but it just has a smoother, more fluid feel than a lot of bikes in this price range. So definitely impressed. That's the Emazing Bike Artemis. For the full write-up on this, including specs and pictures, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.